Well, good evening. My name's Kim Walden. I'm here to welcome all of you here today to our monthly district leader meeting. And so that we know everyone who's with us, please take a moment to type your name, club, or district in the chat. We will be sharing this recording afterwards, so you will get all of the details and all of these videos. So as you can see, we've got a powerhouse of people here for you today. We've got Robert Hall, our vice chair of the Together We End Polio campaign and a past RI director. We have Marshall Butler, our Rotary International Director-elect. Myself, Bruce Azevedo, who's our Georgia EPNC. And we also have Sean Patty, who's the EPNC for the Caribbean. So tonight we're going to discuss some goal setting. We've got a little bit of details here for you. Welcome to Everything World Polio Day. So we're going to be sharing some fundraising, the Polio Plus Society, the Kennel Club, a zone challenge, some how-tos, our DDF news, and a lot of resources for World Polio Day. And finally, we'll have a polio story and a call to action for you. And then we'll wrap it up with some resources and some action items. So with all of that being said, let's get started. We've got a lot to cover. And so let me have Robert Hall join us. And Robert, thank you for being here. And Robert, we just need to have you unmute.
On the unmute, I guess.
There he is.
Yeah, how about that? So I was just saying that's one of my better pictures. So, but we'll go ahead and move off of that. I just want to thank all of you who are here today. I don't know how many, but take what Kim said. I looked at these videos, they're terrific. That between now and the week of 10/24 World Polio Day, get these to other clubs in your district. Get these to your district. These are terrific videos to show. And, yesterday Kim helped me. In fact, I changed my profile picture to show the End Polio Now pin or logo or sign. I asked you to maybe do that. I think Kim's going to send this to everybody, or Claire Monroe will, that change your profile picture for World Polio Day. So you should know that Stephanie, I thought I'm going to call her and let her know, or Charlene's been talking to her. She was supposed to have surgery Monday on her knee, but Callie did great, so she was able to be with us today. Her doctor put it off to November, so don't worry about her. She's doing fine. She's been a great leader last year, led us to a lot of good things. This is the chart from last year. You will see that, well, this is not the chart from last year. This is this year. Okay. So this is this year. Through this year right now to August, as you see, we've raised almost 5 million. This is, like I looked at it, a 7-year high for us. You can see the cash giving was 400 so higher than last year. The DDF giving was higher. We're off to a terrific start. Last year, you probably know, we did not meet our $50 million, and the Rotary Foundation completed that for us with funds that were available. We want to get 100 million from Bill Gates. We're going to get it, and I'd like to see us, since we're off to such a great start after 2 months, to get it without anything from anybody else. The next chart really excites me, that the participation, it's up just slightly, 1%, but it is up. I think I'll talk about that real quick. Well, I think we can do really well on that this year. But the 20% DDF look at that, 29 districts. And of that number, this number really is shown to be 30. 28 are zones 33 and 34. 13 out of 14 are zone 34. So there's 20% DDF by districts. We started last year, had a great year in Pittsburgh because we recognize those districts. We had a great year this year. We recognize those districts. We're going to do that again this next year and let the DGEs and DGs know it's really important to get that done. And so 33 districts who've given any DDF is great. Uh, Let me just take a minute while I'm on this chart to say why I think we'll do better this year on on uh, on DDF and cash given. We've talked a lot about getting the DDF behind us, quote, out of the way, finished, done. And John Germ zones 30 and 31 have always done that. We have done that now. So what this allows us to do is work on this $1,500 per club. And the $1,500 per club is made up of three things. It is made up, I think, of the Polio Plus Society, which is going really great so far. It is made up also the Kennel Club Society. I picked up a check at my Rotary Club today for $100 to make the first horse, Fanny, a member of the Kennel Club. First horse. We got alpacas members, etc. So that's going to be a big deal. The other thing is major gifts. I would challenge every district to have one person make a major gift. It can be 20,000, it can be 50,000, it can be a million, and leverage that gift by challenging the rest of the people in their club or in the district that they will match that. So then $100 doesn't just equal 300 with Gates's match. $100, if it's one-to-one matched, equals $600. That is a big deal when you tell somebody, if you give $100, it'll turn it into $600. I've done that and it works. And I challenge you to do that. I ask you to do that. We're looking forward to two things. One, we're looking forward to doing a better job on educating our district governors. I've talked to headquarters. I've talked to John Germ and Mike McGovern and one of our trustees yesterday I talked to. The IPPC committee is going on today. And what we want to do is have a better understanding of the DGEs when they leave IA of how to get DDF given, how to get $1,500 per club given. And we're going to be involved. Bruce Azevedo is going to work with RI staff and looking at the content, making sure we do that. So I think we'll do a better job on it. I want to turn this over, I think now, to Marshall Butler. Well, here are the stats for this year. I mean, this is really good. Afghanistan has 4 cases, Pakistan 29 now. And you know, that's not a great story. We'd like to be less, but last year at this time we had 46 cases. So 46 to 29 is 46 to 33 is a big improvement. And the circulating, or if you want to call them variant vaccine cases, is down from 100 and 72 at this time last year to 153. Last year we had a total of 463, mainly in Africa. That is a concern. We do have to get rid of these circulating cases also. But I think it's a good story. I think when you put this together, the videos, we've got some great partners. We are not in this alone. And you know why they're in it. They know we're not stopping. They depend on us. They know we'll complete the job. So I thank you for all you're doing. And I look forward to a great year. If you got any questions later, I'll be happy to answer any. Our polio coordinators are ready to answer and work with you totally. Marshall, would you like to join the call now?
I think Kim's next.
Kim, would you like to join the call now?
I would like to. So hello, everyone. I'm happy to share some details with you today about the history of the Polio Plus Society. I get questions about this all the time, so I wanted to make sure I added this slide. In October of 22, RI trustees endorsed the Polio Plus Society as a club and district-led program. So what that means is that these societies can have their own donor recognition program. They are able to recognize Rotarians, Rotaractors, Friends of Rotary Foundation, anyone who commits to giving to polio in a recurring amount each year by the criteria set by the district. So what that basically means is that every single district can have a Polio Plus Society that looks completely different, including their criteria for membership, if they want it to be $100 a year, $250 a year, if they're Rotaractors, $50 a year, or whichever it may be. And they can also have their own recognition awards and their own marketing materials. So you see this little blue Polio Plus Society pin that Robert helped design, if I recall correctly. There's a lot of variations of this. There's a red one. There's ones with a little diamond. There's all kinds of other ones that don't even look remotely like this, and that's all just fine. So this is a way for districts to do something to recognize their donors and polio giving in a way that works best for their district. So that's why the Polio Plus Society has been so awesome. One of the things that it's also helped with is it's helped each club reach their 1,500 annual giving. So that is something that clubs do so that they're giving as a president, they're able to get a recognition. And it used to be called one thing, and now it's called something completely different. But the fact of the matter is, presidents have these criterias that they want to reach. And so this is how we help them get there, is with a Polio Plus Society. So one of the things that you can do is just to have a club event. So here's an example of some club events that you can do. And the nice thing about this is that it's super easy. Show a video, share the information, take a picture of your new members, ask them to join using Rotary Direct. And it's very helpful to help that club reach 1,500, because each individual's giving counts towards the club's goal of 1,500. It also counts for the individual's Paul Harris Fellow. So there's only plus here. We've even got the End Polio Now coordinators in our zones who help the clubs reach their Club Excellence Award, which is what it's now called. And so they've got a certificate that they can present to the clubs. So that's something that, as a president, they're excited to showcase that they met their Club Excellence Award for polio giving. And of course, the Polio Plus Society, which we found to be so helpful, has its own Facebook group. And it has been on fire lately. So if you're wanting polio information, check out the Polio Plus Society Facebook group. You're going to see all kinds of details about who's doing what for activities. You're going to get the latest information on polio stats. You're going to see all the people around the world who are doing things for polio, and it's really amazing. So there's some awesome videos there. You name it, you can find it. So I encourage you to go there. And then, as you heard from Robert, there's the Rotary Polio Plus Society Kennel Club, and they are encouraging districts to create their own kennel clubs. But if they don't do that, they can go through this one, and that's the website to get there, QR code to access it. And basically, if you've got a pet that you want to recognize and have be part of the effort, then there's just 2 steps. You make a donation, and then you use this code to get to their form and fill it out, and they'll send you one of those awesome bandanas. So very easy. And so now that I've shared all of that, I'm going to send you over to Bruce Azevedo, our Georgia EPNC.
Hello, everyone. My camera is buffering, so all you get to see is that face right there. I'm not going to be able to. Next slide. There you go. This is going to be great. We had two amazing zones, 33 and 34 district governors that they gave early their DDF, and we raised through the DDF with the governors $923,894. That was just absolutely fantastic. It was at Governor-elect training at Getz/Summit. It was in Jacksonville last month, and the zones 33 and 34 governors honored their pledges that they made at International Assembly on when they were DGGs, and authorized 20% of their DDF to polio, raising that fund to almost $1 million towards that $50 million goal that we have. Next slide. This is the International Assembly where the DGGs go to International Assembly. Every January they go to there, and they're going to be asked to promise like on a pledge for DDF as a DGG, and they don't get to implement it until they're actually authorized as a governor. But they will, and you will have be able to get an idea of what your DDF is going to be by looking at your district fundraiser analysis report. That's in the foundation, Rotary International, and they'll be teaching you how to look at that. It'll give you an estimate DDF from your previous 3 years, and then what they do is they take 50% of that. And what you want to do for sure is take a look at that figure to find out how much money you have for the various things in the foundation, plus the 20% for the polio. And get together with your foundation team, and what you'll need to want to do is to make up a budget before you get to International Assembly, so that you're ready to answer the questions on how do you plan on spending your money. And this is the slide that shows the process for completing the 3-step DDF polio commitment process. The DGG and the DRFC, both of them are going to discuss prior to going to International Assembly the DDF for the upcoming year at the Zone 33 Fall Summit by completing the pledge form. And we did that just last September, and sometimes it's in October. The DG recommits the pledge at the International Assembly in January, and the DG or the DFC will complete the pledge, which becomes an authorization online after the DG becomes the governor for that particular Rotary year. And when you're on that form, the DRFC can actually go online, and it'll ask who the governor is, and the DRFC, as long as they've talked with the DG, can actually make that signature, and vice versa. The governor can also go on to online, which I'll show you here in a minute, QR code. And as long as the DRFC is aware, it takes 2. You're doing pretty good, Kim. And this is the 20% polio. This QR code right here will get you to the online form that you need, and it brings up the actual form. And after July 1st, this is when you can go in and start making your authorization. And it notice it says current and aged. Currently, right now, they can do their polio, which most of our districts have done that already. Commit the current year, and if you had any 2021 aged DDF funds, you can also commit those for polio. You can't go any further than that, but you can do the 2021. Next slide. Okay, this is a 2-to-1 match. The 2-to-1 match. This is what we want. This is we need your help to reach that $50 million, because when we reach the $50 million, like Robert was talking about this last time, we actually get a transfer of money for $100 million. So then we have $150 million. And what is that? 6 years in a row, Robert? 7, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next slide, please. Now, this used to be called the Georgia Challenge, but we've changed the name over to Zone 34 Challenge, because we had a donor in 6910, Tommy, that has been doing this for years with 6910. We opened it up to the entire zone, and what we have is about $500,000 that we can match. So if we can get 5,000 Rotarians in Zone 34 to just do $100 each, that's $500,000, and then matched by Tommy is $1 million. And then the Gates Foundation does a 2-to-1 match. Now you have $2 million. And that total raised with all the matches is $3 million just off that $100 on 5,000 people. So this is a really important program, and it's a challenge that we've had a AKS that is offered to match, and we've had a number of other individuals that have that awful, done like 50,000 or 100,000 matches. So we encourage you to find people in your districts that want to make those challenges and those matches. And if not, we have this one. So that's the Zone 34 Polio Challenge. Next slide. I love this slide, mpolio.org. And when you see that mpolio.org, we're asking all of you to spread the word to all the Rotarians to contribute online at mpolio.org. It's real easy to remember that. And this is an informative Polio Plus webpage. And you can register your polio events on this page. You can find World Polio Day resources, find news and stories that can be used in your club programs. It's a great resource. And that's if you go and pull up inpolio.org. And it's incredible how much information about polio you find on that one website. If you put -donate, bring to the next slide, it'll take you directly to the page where all Rotarians can actually click on the word donate at the top of the web page, and the online contribution page appears. And it's you can make a one-time donation, or Rotarians can choose the reoccurring donation and become a Paul Harris Society member. Example, you donate like $100, so your donation can be taken out monthly or quarterly. The contributions will show up on your club polio reports quicker than if you had mailed it in, or you've gone through your treasurer on your club to get it to RI. This is absolutely quick, and it will post to the report. So the governors will be able to see it. All your foundation chairs should be able to see this. Your polio chairs will be able to see, and it all goes towards your major donor contributions. I think that's it, isn't it, Kim?
Yep. Now we're going to have Sean Patty, our End Polio Now coordinator from the Caribbean, share some of his awesome information. So Sean, take it away.
Thanks so much, Kim, and thanks to Robert and Bruce and Kim, who've shared so much information with us so far. And we know sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming when you get a lot of information in such a compressed time frame. So again, please feel free when the time afterwards to ask any questions, and we can always send you guys follow-up information. So please feel free to reach out if anything gets a little overwhelming or confusing. So this segment of the presentation is really just focusing on resources available for World Polio Day, which is coming up very quickly on the 24th of October. And as most of you guys should know, it's a big day on the Rotary calendar, right? It is something that, since ending polio is Rotary's #1 priority, it's a day that we all should recognize, and we should get our clubs and all our members to recognize. So we're just going to cover some really simple and easy to find resources to help clubs and districts and members across Zone 34 and across the world to just really make that better impact on World Polio Day, or even a few days before or a few days after. So the first one, Bruce mentioned going to endpolio.org to make donations, and that's awesome for individuals and Rotarians to do. Another great resource when it comes to contributions is the Raise for Rotary platform. And it's something that's been around for quite a while now, and it's an actually really good platform to help with crowdfunding. So any individual, any member, any club, any district can create its own fundraiser on the Raise for Rotary platform, and then you can pretty much share that with individuals, friends, families, members, organizations, and they can make a donation online. What's great with the Raise for Rotary platform is you can specifically select what fund in the Rotary Foundation you would like money that is raised through your particular event to go to. So in this case, our focus here is pointing all the fundraising towards the Polio Plus Fund, and you can use the Raise for Rotary platform to do that. A lot of the information is on that website, raise.rotary.org. So if you've never checked it out, please do. And if you need help setting it up, you can always reach out to one of us, and we'll be happy to help you set something up on Raise for Rotary. A good example of a Raise for Rotary fundraiser that is currently going on and has been going on now for a few months is the End Polio Now Torch Tour, which is actually kind of being coordinated and facilitated by two other EPNCs, Nancy Bobby and Colleen Baldana. Their goal is to try and raise $1 million for polio, and they kind of took a very unique approach to it and incorporated the Raise for Rotary platform. So we just wanted to give a good shout out to a great example of how this platform can be used. In terms of World Polio Day, other resources for World Polio Day, you can find most, if not all of them, through the endpolio.org website. There's a specific page dedicated towards World Polio Day and World Polio Day resources, and we're just going to review some of those resources really quickly. The first set is what you'll find here is a lot of preset, ready-to-go social media assets, so graphics, short videos, thank yous, that you can use on your various social media platforms. They're already done. They're of the correct size, of the correct format. You just need to post them and add whatever little bit of additional information you'd like to your post. But graphic-wise, these are ready to go. So we encourage you to use them as much as you can. There are also public relations templates, and with regards to public relations, just to clarify, this is when it's about outgoing messages from your clubs or from your districts to various media or press groups and organizations. So there are things there for news releases, media releases, proclamations, letters to the editor. All those templates are there where you can essentially just insert your particular club's name and any other little specific information you'd like, but the template is there. 90% of the work is already done for you. It's formatted correctly. The wording is correct. So you guys are good to go. And we encourage you to use those templates if possible. Recently, very recently, actually, these event templates have been also added as resources. So whether it's for a social media post or whether it's a flyer, you can go again and find these event templates that you can essentially just throw in your club logo, throw in some additional information, but everything else is kind of laid out and done for you in terms of colors, in terms of fonts, in terms of clarity. It's all preset. So again, utilize these event templates if you can, especially if you're going to be having a World Polio Day event, like a fundraiser or a walk or anything along those lines that would help raise awareness or raise money. And then last but not least, in terms of assets, there are a ton of video assets. You saw some of them at the very beginning of this session that are available as well. And some of them are short, some of them are a little bit longer, but no matter what, whether you put them up on social media, whether you play them at your club meeting to help educate and inform your members about why they should care about polio, where things stand in terms of the current situation with polio, how everything works, why Rotary's involved. There's so much information. There's so many great videos that are there and available that you can use, again, both internally amongst your club members and externally just to your communities and to the public. Lastly, what we're trying to do very much this year is encourage as many clubs and districts within Zone 34 to register their World Polio Day event. So whether it is that you're having a walk, a fundraiser, a dinner, whatever it may be, please go on to endpolio.org and register your event. That's a good way for two things. One, it helps us and RI keep track of what clubs are doing And two, it allows us a forum to show the world exactly what Rotary is doing to help celebrate World Polio Day and to keep the spirit of ending polio alive and make sure that our promise to the children of the world is kept and maintained and fulfilled. On that note, I'm going to hand it over to RI Director-elect Marshall Butler, who's going to give us a little bit of a polio story. Marshall.
John, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And it's great to be with you all tonight. And, I'm here to let you know that for a lot of us, polio, it's personal. A lot of us have very close and direct relationships with someone that had polio. And in my case, that was my father. So my Rotary story began in 1941. In 1945, my dad was diagnosed with polio. When Dad was diagnosed with polio, his right arm went limp. And he spent the next year of his life in a hospital. It was Hope Haven here in Jacksonville, Florida. And he was in quarantine. I mean, I want you to think about that. A 4-year-old isolated for a year. The only time he saw his mom, his dad, his sister was behind a glass window. A very scary time in the 40s and 50s. I think Robert Hall mentioned that. That was when we saw the most cases. That was a very scary time here in the United States. About 5 years after Dad contracted polio, he went back to the hospital. Back in the day, they tried some radical surgeries to help folks make use of limbs that had been paralyzed as a result of the disease. And they tried to take a muscle out of my dad's leg and put it in his arm so he'd have some use, and it didn't work. My dad has had that right arm hanging by the side of his body his entire life. And just 5 years after that failed surgery, on April 12th, 1955, Dr. Jonas Salk, he shocked the world and said that he had identified a vaccine that was safe, it was potent, it was effective, and it was a game changer. Everything changed at that moment. Kids around the world started getting that vaccine. And, for my dad, it was just a little bit too late. And I think about my dad, and I think about people now questioning the use of vaccines. And I asked my dad, I said, Dad, what are your thoughts? He said, do you think if there had been a vaccine available that my mother would not have made sure that I had access to that vaccine? And of course not. Of course that she would have made sure he had that vaccine. But instead, my dad, he's persevered. He's spent his entire life with that limb hanging by the side of his body. Dad has always provided. He ran his own business, very successful, but he also provided for his community. So my dad taught me perseverance, and he taught me service above self. Dad wasn't a Rotarian at the time, but he was a Rotarian at heart. And so that's why it's so important for us to remember these stories and remember these direct connections that we have with people that had polio, because so many of us in the United States we've forgotten about it because it hasn't been an issue. And the fact that we have to talk to people now about the importance of vaccinating our children and providing vaccines, it doesn't have to be a political topic, but it can be about the importance of taking care of our children and making sure that we don't go through this again. Because we know if for any reason we were to stop vaccinating our kids, it's just a plane ride away. It could come back so quickly. And that is why we have to, on World Polio Day this year, make it an emphasis to share with folks the importance of vaccination, the importance of the polio vaccination, the importance that we need to keep shining a light on the importance of keeping our kids safe, and do it in a respectful way, do it in a very diplomatic way. But we can't let folks think that there is any other alternative than to continue with vaccinations like for polio. We have this coming Monday, we have our Zoom formation call, and Rotary President nominee Larry Lunsford is going to be joining us. And I asked Larry to specifically talk about the efforts that are being conducted in Washington around, educating folks on the need for vaccinations. And so Larry is going to provide us with some information on the Zoom formation call on Monday. Again, more information that we can use on World Polio Day to educate and share and let folks know how important it is that we keep this promise. Sean said it best, this is a promise we made to the children of our world. And I was taught at a very young age, a promise made is a debt unpaid. And until we see the end of this, until we see the end of polio, Rotary will not stop. We'll continue. And so I'm encouraged by, all the great opportunities that we have on World Polio Day to do fantastic things. We did a 0K at the summit. That was a fun event. It raised $17,000. You think about that, $17,000 to stand there and eat donuts. And then when you think about the multiplier effect, that was $51,000 when we did the 2-for-1 match. Again, $51,000 out of the generosity of Rotarians that is going to go directly to making sure that no child has to suffer the consequences of polio. I think about those, we saw it in some of those videos, those people that contracted polio in India and Afghanistan and Pakistan, and the consequences of polio, and the idea that a lot of those folks are now isolated from their families because they cannot provide. And they're isolated just like my dad was when he was 4 years old. And that is horrible. It's lonely, and it's just sad. And we know that we can make a difference. We know that Rotary can stand in that gap, and we can make sure that we take care of eradicating polio. So just to wrap it up, please make sure that you share the importance of vaccinations on World Polio Day. You tell the story. You tell folks that Rotary is going to see the end of this, that we are committed to this. Again, it's a promise made and a debt unpaid. And just educate folks on the importance of vaccinations. That's all I can ask, and look forward to seeing a lot of great progress and a lot of great education, telling the Rotary story this year on October 24th. It's a big day in Rotary, and I look forward to seeing everyone share the importance of polio eradication.
Thank you so much for sharing that story with us. And I know that we probably all have some questions about World Polio Day that we want to share. So let's get started. Bruce is going to ask a few questions for you.
Well, Kim, also, we've been posting a lot of questions, answers to a lot of the questions on the chat. People were asking about how much money Nancy and Colleen did on their journey, and I believe she told me it was just over $1 million, if I'm not mistaken.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we've had a number of them. We've been posting on there. Any questions? We haven't had any questions for Marshall directly, but I know a lot of people have been asking about what's the cost of vaccinating a child in the world, and we do know that it's about 50 cents per dose, or like $2 per child. And we had some questions before on who are some famous people that actually had polio, and President Franklin Roosevelt, and Senator Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, Congressman Steve Cohen at Tennessee, Gene Simmons of KISS, Mia Farrow, Neil Young, Donald Sutherland is another one, Jack Nicklaus. And so it's quite a few people. But yeah, who's that?
My dad.
Yeah, that's right. Your dad. That's right. Your dad. Yeah.
Add him to that list.
Oh yeah. And we always been getting this. What's Rotary's #1 internal goal? Well, membership is. What's Rotary's #1 external goal? And that's a polio eradication. So we have to remember that it's polio eradication. And Robert had mentioned this a little bit before, but how do we raise our $50 million? And the average breakdown is right around 35 million from individual donors and Polio Society, which is extremely important. That's where you're donating just $100 a year. And of course, the kennel clubs helped a lot, and about 10 million from district designated funds. So that's the DDF. And then of course, as he had mentioned before, Rotary International will kick in some money if we had not made our goal. And I think, Robert, wasn't it $1 million or a couple $1 million this last year, something like that?
It's about 4.
What's that?
It's 4+ last year.
4+ last year.
It's a big deal. I mean,
yeah.
I'm convinced with this start. I mean, we're going to have a great year this year.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of excitement.
I say to you, I think I told some of you that I do have this torch, and I own it, by the way. And any of you who would like to use this in your districts, just send me an email. I'd be happy for you to use it. I don't want to have it sitting here in my office, which it is doing right now. I'd rather be out there, you using it for awareness. I mean, we talk about awareness and fundraising, but there was an article produced about how do you raise money. Somebody interviewed me a couple of years ago, and I said, you never ask for the money. You start off with making people aware what you're passionate about, and they'll know it. They'll know if you're passionate or just passing something off. And so you've probably got a story like Marshall has. Let me tell you, I didn't know John Germ's dad had polio until he told a group at one time. But you tell a story, it's all about stories. And if you tell a compelling story, they'll give the money. They'll give the money. As Charlene said, we've been to India twice. First NID, she says, if you want to give money or go on an NID, go to the NID first. You'll give lots of money after that. You'll get other people to give lots of money. Anyway, create awareness out there.
Yeah, we had a question.
I forgot to mention, Dad's still with us. He'll turn 84 on October 28th. And I just think about the idea. It gives me goosebumps to consider that we could see the end of polio during Dad's lifetime. I mean, and for me, that'd
be great.
A life that was so severely impacted by this disease, for him to see the end of it would be just so powerful.
So why don't on October 24th, Charlene's birthday is October 24th, Marshall's day is October 28th. Go ahead and contribute. Go ahead and punch the button and tell all your friends to do it too.
Well, thanks everyone. I think we've covered a lot of awesome things, and I know we're all eager to share more with you. So here's our contact information for the Zone 34 and Polio Now coordinators, so that you have all of the information to email them or call them, and you know who your End Polio Now coordinator is for your area. Also, my information, if you've got Polio Plus Society or polio events that you would like to have posted in the Polio Plus Society Facebook group, I'm happy to do that. And then, of course, all the little details about where you can get more information, do your DDF, or get information from GPEI, which is a great source as well. And then this is the new thing. So I'm so excited to share this with you guys. We want to increase awareness on World Polio Day. So we are asking everyone to change their Facebook profile picture to this End Polio Now logo, so that on World Polio Day, we are going to see a ton of people's profile pictures be End Polio Now. So we need your help to share the message, and we want to make sure that everyone knows what we're doing. So I've added some suggested verbiage that you can share along with this logo image, so that you can throw it out there on your Facebook page. And I've had some people who are so excited about this, they already changed their Facebook profile to this. So, and in Robert's case, he changed his header and his profile picture. So he's like all over the End Polio Now.
I didn't know it. I didn't know it.
So anyway, please help us spread the word about this. We also have a little blurb in there about if you would like to help us contribute, how to get the 2-for-1 match and reach the 100 million. So we definitely want to get there. So thank you for your help with this. And as a reminder, all of the information that you saw in this presentation tonight, you're going to be able to get at the end of this event. We'll email it back to you. But most importantly, you need to know that end is in sight, but we're not done. So if we can get your help to get there, that would be fantastic. So I want to thank all of our speakers this evening. We had a powerhouse. We shared a lot of great info. I'm sure there's more we could tell you, so feel free to ask us. And I hope that all of you will go to our RI Zones 3334 website and click on the foundation page, and you'll see some of this information and some of our foundation webinars, which are coming third Thursday of the month. So with that being said, I'd just like to tell all of you that we appreciate your time tonight. We appreciate your hard work on behalf of the foundation and on behalf of the children of the world. So thank you for your efforts for World Polio Day, and I hope you have a great night. Thanks for joining us.